Facebook Live. It's your girl, Dr. V. Great morning, great morning, great morning. Come on in. Come on in. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm super excited this morning. You guys tell me who's here and where you're tuning in from. Let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Who is here? I'm trying to share this. Hey, Marquenta. What's up, 134? Hey, Jaquetta. How are you, beautiful? We miss you. Oh, my goodness. Y'all are on the line, on the line, on the line. Amen. I'm in Tampa. Tampa, baby boy. Hey, Bella. How you doing, gorgeous? So, you guys, it's a lot. 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 You know, things are moving very quickly right now. And we've got to understand that God is doing things suddenly. He's doing things quickly. He's moving like never before. And hey, Van, how you doing? It is imperative that we be in position. March Madness is still going on. Girl, you better hurry up and get your coffee. Go on and get them 2 for $2. Buy 2, get 2 free. Go on, get them. Go on, get them. Hey, Marguerite, how are you, beautiful? So I wanted to come on. I actually, let me rephrase how I say this. Hold on, y'all. Let me rephrase. I said I wanted to come on. So my plan was to come on and talk about something, period, right? But God's plan was for me to come on and prophesy. Like that was not my plan. It was not on my agenda. Like I'm tired. I'm tired. Had a long day yesterday. It was very productive, but it was still long. You know, I taught class last night, and then we had Bible study, which was off the chain. Our Let's Get Raw sessions, work the word. Baby, we worked that word. And it was amazing. It was good. It was incredible. But like, I'm tired. I had company, so I didn't get done till late. And then I was tired already. So, well, the difference is, what's the difference between profit, financially, the money, and prophet, which is the person. Prophet is what you do. Prophet is who you are. And that's the difference. Although, I'm sorry, y'all. Oh my goodness. Okay. As a prophet, a lot of times you don't profit in the beginning, but God will bring a blessing, which is your profit, from doing his will, his work, his way, his service. But so anyway, I was tired. Y'all know I was tired. I'm telling y'all, you got to understand that right now it's a very sensitive time, and God is really, really moving. The angelic activity is high. It's amazing. Hey, Prophetess Tammy, how you doing, my sister? Girl, you was teaching, girl. You was teaching. Girl, I had to share it, girl. It was so good. Hey, Dr. Shalundia. Like, all the heavyweights is in the house. Hold up. I might need to get off the line because the heavyweights is in here. Let me get off the line. No, but this month, I'm telling you, this month is a very important month. And people don't understand. If you don't know the timing and the times and seasons of God, there are times and seasons that are particularly close to God's heart, right? This is one of them. This is a time, a season that's particularly close to God's heart, right? This is a time, a season where you're going to see increased angelic activity. If you pay attention to numbers, you're going to see an increase in seeing double and triple and four numbers of the same. This is a time where the angels are moving there. I'm telling you, angelic activity is at a height, right? And so you have to also understand that if all of these things are happening on the God side, baby, it's some stuff happening on the other side. Now, the beauty is that the power of God is greater than the power of the enemy. That's just it, point blank and period. But the reality is, if you're not taking advantage of this time, I literally had someone come to my house last night, who is a seer, right? So I, as a prophet, I don't necessarily see in the natural. I see in the spirit. I feel, I know. I have a knowing, right? I don't know how I know. I just know. It's something that I just know, right? But she sees, and she sees things, spiritual things in the natural realm. She'll see spiritual things. So that means that she sees angels, but it also means that she sees demons, right? And I know people don't believe in that stuff, but it's real. It's real. So she came to my house. She brought me some food last night, y'all. I ate good. Ooh, don't tell nobody. But it was just blackened fish, and I had some steamed vegetables and some brown rice. No bread. Yeah, but it was good. But she said, Dr. V, you got a lot of angels in here. I said, girl, I know. I said, I know, girl. I said, normally in my room, it's at least two, right? And she was saying we were going down the stairs, and one was like making sure she didn't fall. Like he was right there. It was a big one. And she was telling me, she said, and when I would come to your office, it was a big one outside the door of your office, like standing guard. You all listen. This is where I tell people, please don't mess with me. Please don't. I have an angelic army assigned to me. And the reality is that when you are walking in God's will, you have an angelic army assigned to you. Now, we all have angels assigned to us, but some people have angelic armies assigned to them because their mandate is so great that they need greater protection because the attacks are going to be plentiful, right? And so I just understand this. I understand that I'm not assigned an angelic army because I am perfect and I am without sin. I am assigned an angelic army because of my assignment. It's my assignment. It's my assignment. You see, we got to understand that the anointing, the call, the purpose of God is the biggest thing in our lives. It's the biggest thing. It's bigger than me being a top money earner in 1044 Pro. It's bigger than me being a PhD. It's bigger than me being a professor. It's bigger than me being a talk show host or on radio. Or it's bigger than all of that. It's bigger than all of that. And I'm telling you, yeah, she is a seer. Come on, prophetess. You better teach. I need y'all to stay tuned. Prophetess Tammy gonna be doing some prophetic classes, y'all. She's gonna be doing some prophetic classes. I want y'all to stay tuned because she's getting ready to be doing it. That's right. It's the assignment. It's the assignment. Now I'm telling y'all this because you need to get in tune with your assignment. See, some of y'all are in tune with gifts, but you're not in tune with your assignment. You got to get in tune with your assignment. The moment you lock into your assignment, God moves differently on your behalf, man, because you are being what? Obedient. Last night we talked about being a man after God's own heart. David being a man after God's own heart. It wasn't because David was perfect. We know David wasn't perfect. We know that David sinned. We know that he committed adultery. He committed murder. Like we know that David was not perfect. But you know what he did? He found his assignment and he was on his assignment. When God gave him an assignment to slay Goliath, he did that. When God gave him an assignment to be the king, when it was time, he did that. When God gave him an assignment not to kill Saul, you hear what I'm telling you? Not to kill Saul when he had every right and opportunity to kill Saul. His assignment was not to kill. Don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not, no, don't do that. And it was his obedience that made him a man after God's own heart. Why does God love me so much? Because I am obedient. obedient to him. If he tells me to do something, if he gives me an assignment, even if I fuss, cuss, and argue with him about it. I did say fuss, cuss, and argue. Yeah, I do that with God. See, I don't have to pretend to be anything. No. You've got to get in tune with your assignment and not just your gifts. There's an assignment that you have. And see, this is why God had me do this. Okay, God, I get it. So listen, this is why God had me do this. Because look, let me tell y'all something. We got these people running around floating on their gifts. They floating on their gifts. And the gifts of God are without repentance. God gives gifts without repentance. He doesn't take the gifts back because you mess up. You still have the gift, right? But you see some gifts that go from light to dark, right? Because people have gotten out of their assignment. They've walked away from God, but the gift is still in them. He doesn't take it away. Lucifer, prime example. Listen, he was the head of the worshiping angels. He was the master worshiper, right? God did not take his worship away from him. He didn't take that ability away from him, but he cast him out. And today, what does he do? He rules in the music realm. He rules in the music realm. That is why, my God, listen, that is why you see all of this perverse stuff happening in the music industry. Listen to me. This perverse stuff is happening in the music industry because Lucifer was cast out of heaven, but he did not lose his gift. So he brought his gift to the earth realm. He said, let me entice people with the gift. Music is enticing. Music draws people. Music brings people to particular emotions. Y'all, that's why y'all talking about, I made a baby off this song, and this song. That's why certain artists are baby making artists and other artists are twerking artists. You understand? Listen, Lucifer's assignment with worship and music has now been perverted here in the earth realm with the music now. That's why I never give the enemy over total authority with things that God created. God created worship. God created worship. God created music. Oh no, I'm not letting go of music. Now we might have to change what we listen to. We might have to modify what we listen to. We might have to make some changes. But listen, God is the creator of music. Music, math, science, stars, all of this is God, and they all align. And one day, God's people are going to wake up and they're going to understand how all of these things align, how music, math, science, and stars all align and point to the divinity of God. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. This is why we got to understand technology. This is why we've got to have people in these fields. We've got to have people in these fields, believers in these fields, y'all, because God has set this thing up. You think God didn't know Corona was coming? You think God didn't know church was going to shift from live to online? You think that God didn't know that things were going to shut down? You think God didn't know that he is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end? You think he didn't know? Of course he knew. And all of these things, he allowed these things to be put in place so that when the time was right, it could begin to diminish the distance between his people, and the people that he needs to connect around the globe could connect to fulfill the assignment that he's given. I want you to think about the most intricate science fiction movie you've ever seen. And there's a major thing that must be done at the end. That's what this is. That's what this is. He is pulling his remnant together, and his remnant, contrary to popular belief, and I'm going to mess some folks up right here with this. His remnant, contrary to popular belief, is not from one religious group, one denomination, one sect. Instead, what he's going to do is he's going to pull people from different groups together to fulfill to fulfill an assignment that is bigger than them. You thought it was just Christians that he was going to use? No, my brother and sister. It's not. It's not. And the moment we get to the place when we stop allowing God to be God and use whosoever he will, because he specializes in using those that you don't think he will use. He specializes in using those that don't look like what you think is supposed to look like. He specializes in that. Why? He says, I take the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. Oh, you know, those Bible scholars that think they know everything about the Bible and the word of God and how God will move. Oh, those super spiritualists who think they know everything about how God sits in my spirit, that the spirit of God is given. Come on, y'all, come on. No, listen, God is moving in peculiar ways with a peculiar people, and we are those peculiar people. That is why certain people are drawn to each other. Certain people are just connected. They have kindred spirits. You'll hear them speaking. You're like, oh yeah, that's me right there. That's my vibe right there. That's my vibe. That's my vibe, right? And he's going to use, and I need, oh God, I need you all to transform your thinking as it relates to what is called mental illness. I need y'all to transform that, because I'm gonna tell you what God has been revealing to me. What God has been revealing to me is that many times what people call mental illness is people who have gifts and assignments that they don't understand and they don't know what to do with it. And so it's off kilter. Now, the person is not crazy, but the person has an assignment and they have gifts that they don't know how to use and how to manage. And so therefore their world is distorted, it's disrupted, and they don't know how to operate. But when they get in the presence of someone who understands what God has in them, and that person is able to bring together the pieces and the fragments to make it make sense for them, they're able to move in their assignment. See, the problem was not that they were mentally ill. It was they had assignments and gifts that they didn't know how to connect, because the world has told us that certain things are crazy. That's not it. There are so many prophets walking the streets homeless because they've seen things that they couldn't talk about. They've told people things and they weren't believed. They were made a mockery of because they were saying what God was saying, but people didn't understand it. And so they thought they were crazy. They thought they were insane. They began to commit them. They began to Baker act them. They saw the hearts of people. They began to describe the things that they were seeing, which were things that were happening in the spirit realm. And people thought that they were insane because it didn't sound real. They began to talk about people's hearts being ripped out. They began to talk about seeing these monsters, but what they were seeing were people with demons that were attached to them. And so the world couldn't understand it. People couldn't understand it. And so they said they're crazy. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. And God has been making so clear to me. He's been making so clear to me that he's calling me to some people that other people have said are crazy, that may seem a little off kilter, because he said, you'll see what's in them. You'll be able to connect the dots for them. He said, I've given you the ability to recognize the strategies and the patterns, to begin to see beyond the surface of people. And that's why they come to you. That's why they're drawn to you. I know you get a little frustrated sometimes. I know you get a little frustrated. He said, that's why they're drawn to you, because you can see, connect, and help them to connect and get back in alignment so that they can fulfill the assignment I've given them. They have an assignment that they must complete. They have an assignment. And the world will try to medicate them and tell them that they're crazy and give them all these diagnoses and have them all off kilter. He said, but you, daughter, are called to speak to me in them and to let them know you're not crazy. You're not crazy. You know how many prophets think they're crazy? They think they're crazy because they see stuff that is not there in the natural. They hear stuff, they hear voices, they hear conversations. And they're hearing these conversations, they're hearing people talk about them. And they're like, what's going on? No, you're hearing real people's conversations talking about you. I hear people's conversations talking about me. That's why I can know where people are coming from. See, let me tell y'all something. When I tell you I hear conversations, I hear conversations. That's why I can know the backstory of things that are going on without even saying I know the backstory of things that are going on and things that are said or things that are thought. Listen, but I know. Doesn't mean I don't know. So I hear it before they say it. And when they say one thing, but they're thinking another, I hear that too. You all, I'm saying this because there are some of you on here who have the same thing. You have the same gift. And you think you're crazy. You're not crazy. You're saying, well, I don't know that they said it. They said it. when you're hearing these conversations and you getting these downloads, you're like, well, where did that come from? Because I'm not even thinking about that person like that, because they are currently at this moment talking about you. I can not only hear conversations, I can see who the person is talking to. I can see the string of people. I see all that. I see it. I see it and I hear it. Y'all better stop letting people tell you you crazy. You not crazy. I came to speak to the people that people have been told that they're crazy. You crazy. You don't know that. No, you know. See, this is why certain women and men will sense certain things. And they'll know something's going on, even if they have no evidence. They may not have any evidence. I'm going to tell y'all, this thing is real. See, this is what I know about my ex-husband. Like, he's a prophet. He's a prophet not willing to walk in the office, not willing to walk in the gift. But he got the gift, y'all. I'm telling you, he got the gift. He is a prophet, for real, right? And so that's why he knew when I cheated, he knew I cheated. He knew. Even though I was saying, whatever, he knew. He's a prophet. I'm a prophet. We know stuff. We may not have physical evidence of it, but we still know it. That's how he knew. That's how he knew. You all stop denying your gifts. Stop thinking your gift is a curse. It is not a curse. It is given to you to fulfill the assignment that God has for you. The problem is you don't know your assignment. And because you don't know your assignment, you can't use your gift effectively. You haven't been around people who will teach you how to use your gift, because the reality is you've been around people who desire your gift, who are envious of your gift, who don't understand your gift and are afraid of your gift. Let me tell you when I knew I was real different. Let me tell y'all when I knew I was real different, that God was doing something real different in me, and it scared the crap out of me. So listen, I was pastoring in Nashville, and God was moving in some really supernatural ways, right? And I knew I was a prophet. I knew I prophesied, but something happened. And y'all, every now and then this thing will happen. And I promise y'all, listen, I could not make it up. God would allow me to speak in tongues to people, and it would be him. He would be talking to them. He would be having a full-blown conversation with them, and they would be answering back and forth. And I'm moving my lips, but I don't know what's being said. God would speak to people in tongues through me. He would have a conversation with them. He would say things to them, and my voice would change. It was a deep man voice. My voice would change. This would happen. So let me tell you what happened. I was at a church. We were at a church service. One of my members had gone down to the altar, and I went down there. I went down there because I didn't trust I had to be right there. It's your church, but listen, I got to watch, because I'm a watchman over the soul. And so she began to weep and speak in tongues. And the people did not know what to do. And so I was holding her. I was praying for her. Listen, God began to speak to her. God began to talk to her. The people from the church that were around, they got scared. They were like moving me, pulling me away. They were like, ma'am, you got to go sit down. Ma'am, you got to go sit down. Ma'am, you got to go sit down. I sat down, but I was praying. Let me tell y'all something. This is why you can't be at everybody's house. You can't eat at every table. This is why. See, everybody's not going to understand what's going on inside of you. Everybody's not going to get it. Everybody's not going to get it. Everybody's not going to get it. But I'm going to tell y'all something. When that happened, and when God does that, I know that is God talking to that person. He is talking to them. He's having a whole conversation with their spirit man. You see, we get so intellectual that God sometimes has to bypass this. People want to know, why tongues still exist, because God needs to have a heavenly language where he can speak to your spirit without your mind getting in the way. So your mind will cancel what God is saying, but your spirit will connect with it. See, that's why, we are a spirit in a body. We're a spirit in a body. Yes, we are a physical being. Yes, we have our soulish realm. Our soul is our mind. It gets in the way sometimes of the spirit. And the spirit, sometimes God got to just speak straight to the spirit, because it is the spirit that will get what he's saying. He's putting something in the spirit. He's germinating something, breathing something on it. He's giving instructions and directions that the mind would deny, the mind would run from, the mind would prevent from manifesting, because the mind would say that's crazy. But your spirit will listen to the spirit of God. It will connect. It will receive the instructions. It's almost like if you know spy movies. Okay, I'm a spy. Listen, I like sci-fi action. I like all of that. But if you know spy movies, if you remember Mission Impossible, they would always have the tape that would come. The message would come in some shape, form, or fashion. That it would give them the message, and it would say, "This is your assignment if you so choose to accept it. This tape will self-destruct in seconds." And then after so many seconds, it's self-destructed. So listen, this is what happens. God has an assignment for you. But your mind will, if you allow your mind to get in the way, your mind will self-destruct the message. It'll destroy the message because the message brings with it uncertainty. It brings with it, it can bring with it, because of that uncertainty, that can lead to fear. Okay? So this is what our mind does. Our mind, it is geared to protect us. It's a protection mechanism. And so what it does is anything that comes that threatens our safety or we could fail or we could be hurt or anything like that. Your mind says, don't do that. No, that ain't God. That's your mind. That's what your mind does, right? That's why you got 5 seconds to act on something before your mind talks you out of it. 5 seconds. That's why Mel, I can't think of her last name, came up with the 5-second rule. If you move in 5 seconds, you can do it. But if you do not move in that 5 seconds, then you allow your brain to talk you out of it. I'm just telling y'all. See, this is why some of you find yourself like you want to do something. You say, oh, I'm going to do this. If you don't do it in 5 seconds after having that thought, chances are it's not going to get done. 5 seconds. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move. If you do that, you good. You ain't got 10 seconds. This ain't a countdown to 10. You got 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, your mind begins to tell you that, no, don't do that. No, you could get hurt. No, you could lose. No, don't do. That's not good. That's not good. That's why, listen, God is bringing some stuff together this morning. That's why when God brings something to you, and you say, you feel, let me tell you, you feel, I need to do this. But then you give yourself time to think and you say, well, let me just pray about it. You missed it. Missed it. That doesn't mean he won't bring it back around. This is what I'm telling y'all. I need y'all to hear me. I need you to hear me well. I need y'all to get this. God is trying to liberate you, but you cannot be liberated in your own thinking. Your own thinking is going to think you out of what God would have you do, because what God is going to have you do is not, I promise you, it ain't going to make sense. I promise you, it ain't going to match your budget. I promise you, it ain't going to match your skill set. I promise you, it ain't going to match your education. I promise you, it ain't going to match where you at right now. I promise you, it ain't going to look like what your situation is. It ain't going to look like it. I promise you. But if you will move when he says move, if you will do what he says do, if you will go when he says go, if you will say what he has said, and you'll get into a habit of obeying. Anything that you do consistently becomes like muscle memory, and you automatically do it. If you automatically do what God says do, if you automatically say what God says say, if you automatically go where God says go, then you will get in the habit of doing it, and your body will move because God said it. You'll be like, okay. That's why when y'all see me pause, listen, he may be talking to me. He may be saying something. He be saying, no, don't say that yet. Don't release that yet. Or I don't want to say it. And he said, you heard me. Say what I said. So if I stop, know that God may be having a whole full-blown conversation with me in that moment. Because either I'm resistant to doing it or I'm ready to go. And he said, don't release that yet. They're not ready. They're not ready. And this is where we mess up. Where we mess up is we try to give people too much too soon. Everybody's not ready for the same thing all at the same time. Now, people can say that's elitism. No. It's wisdom. It is wisdom. That's why in ancient Egypt, they had the classes, and you had to master one thing before you could go to the next thing. And then you could go to the next thing, but do you know what happened and what messed all of that up? There was a reason that the mystery system was in place. There was a reason that it was in place, because it was known that certain people, when they got that higher knowledge, would use it for evil and not for good. See, I'm real clear that my gifts can be used for evil. They absolutely can. I promise you they can. Okay? I have to actively and consciously choose to use them for good, because that's how powerful they are. But the mystery system was set up like that so that people could build their character. That's why you see these pastors falling like this, because they haven't gone through a system building their character for them to be released into this greater knowledge, the deep mysteries of God. That's why God reveals different things in scriptures to you the deeper you get in him. And deeper in him means this. It means that you becoming more like him, more submitted to him, not perfect, not perfect, not without sin, not without a thorn, not without an issue, but more committed to doing his will and obeying him. And he says, do. Now, this is going to mess y'all up, and I get it, but I'm just telling you what is true. God is more concerned about your obedience than who you're sleeping with. He's more concerned about your obedience. And y'all say, well, isn't that obedience? Listen to me. Let me tell y'all something about God. I told you that he uses the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, right? And I'm not saying just go do anything and everything, because what he will do is he will begin to move you to a place where you submit yourself fully to him. It doesn't happen all at once for most people. For most people, it is a process. And for some people, it takes longer than others. Listen, I've been sexually active since I was about 12, truth be told. I was about 12 and a half, going on 13, actually. It has taken me to get to 54 for me to give God my coochie. You can have everything else. Everything else, God, you can have it. But not that, because God, I don't trust you with that. You finna make me be celibate. I don't want to be celibate. I don't want to be. I don't want to get cobwebs. I don't want to run the risk of never being able to have sex again. I don't want that. But what he did was he had me going through a series of yeses, right? I said the other day that in sales, that what they teach you is if you get 3 yeses, you can close a deal. If you get 3 yeses, you can close a deal. So your goal is to get people to say yes, yes, yes. Once they say that third yes, then you can close them, right? So that's what they teach you in sales. It's a psychological thing. So listen, God created us. God knows us. How do you think they discovered that? It wasn't accidental. So God got me to go through a series of yeses. He said, okay, I need you to do this. I said, okay, God, I'm going to do that. He said, okay, now I need you to do this. Okay, God, I'm going to do that. Now I need you to do this. Okay, God, I'm going to do that. Then he said, give me your coochie. I said, what? What? No, not that. You tricked me. God, you tricked me. Huh. This is why I'm be fooling with you. Guess what I did? I said, okay, God, I give you my coochie. Then you know what he said after that? Now I want you to start the church. What in the world are you doing? Now you doing too much now. This too much. Too much, God, too much. But he knows me and he knows you. This prophetic word is your preparation word. Your preparation for what God is doing. Your preparation for where God is taking you. Your preparation for the level of obedience that God needs you to operate in. Yes, he wants you to love one another. Yes, he wants you to refrain from sexual immorality. Yes, he wants you not to lie and not to be jealous and not to be angry. Yes, he wants all of those things, but those things are not the most important things. Hear me. It's your obedience, because if you obey him, then you'll do the rest. If you obey him, you'll do the rest. Well, where does that obedience come from? It comes from loving him above all. It comes from loving him above all. When you love him above all, then you are more likely to obey him. That's how you get to obedience. You love God because he loves us. Even though we're adulterers. Yeah, we're adulterers. We run off to everything and everybody but him. And so he needs us to understand, you got to love me enough to obey me, even in the hard things, to do what I say do when I say do it, the way I say do it. Say what I say to whoever I say it. My God. Okay. So listen, this is a chastisement. I just want y'all to know I'm giving you all full transparency. This is a chastisement. This is a chastisement to my prophets who are on the line. This is a chastisement because God has called you to speak to those in leadership, in authority, and in rule, and you have not given them the word that God told you to give them. This is an official chastisement. It is not a condemnation, simply a chastisement. May you feel the conviction of the word of the Lord and go do what God told you to do, regardless of what the consequences are. There are people in positions of leadership God has told you to give a word to. You have not done it, and he is not pleased. Go do it. Go do it. It's holding some stuff up for you. Go do it. Go do it. Go do it. That's right, Tammy. I'm handing out official chastisements. Go do it. Now, for those of you who have a prophetic gift, but you're unsure how to use it, you've not been trained how to use it. You grew up in the Baptist church where they don't even believe in the prophetic, right? You grew up in something where, they don't think that that's real or that exists, okay? Doesn't change the fact that you're a prophet, okay? Doesn't change it, okay? But what you must do is you must connect with those who operate in the gift and who can teach you how to operate in the gift with wisdom. That was one of my problems. I was in a ministry, and although my pastor is a prophet, he didn't walk in that. And so God had to move me somewhere else so that I could begin to be trained in some things, right? See, training is important. When you have spiritual gifts, it's important for you to be trained. You got to be trained in how to operate in your gift. You got to be trained because there's a reason you have your gift, and your gifts are given for your what? Your assignment. Your assignment, your person, your purpose. Okay? This is why at Passionate Pursuit, one of the things that we do is everybody has to take a 16 personalities test. You need to know your personality. Okay? There's a reason you're wired the way you're wired. It's not an accident. God created your personality for a reason, and that reason is for your assignment. You need it for your assignment. So when people tell you not to be a certain way, which is how you are wired, then they're telling you not to be what you need to be in order to fulfill your assignment. And you wonder why you can't get into your purpose. You can't tap into your purpose. It's because you have become someone that you were not created to be. That is not who God created you to be. But because the world, your parents, your teachers, those that you respect, your pastors, you whoever told you to be a different way, that's what you did. And now you don't have what you need active and sharp to fulfill your assignment. Don't let nobody change you. It's not about changing it. It's about you understanding your personality and understanding when to operate how. See, anything that is not used as it was created to be used becomes a problem. Okay? See, you can have something that was created for one thing and you can use it for many things, like the buckets in my house, those lard buckets. They were used for many things, right? So they were used for different purposes, but it doesn't change that their original design was to hold lard. That was the original design. Some of you are in a place where, and I'm telling y'all need to check these ministries y'all attached to. And I'm not saying this for y'all to come to Passionate Pursuit of Manifested Purpose. I'm not saying it for this, but I'm telling y'all need to check these ministries you're attached to because they're killing your assignment. They're killing your assignment. They're killing your assignment because they don't understand it. They don't agree with it. They don't get it. And they've got you working their assignment. Listen, you need to be in a place where your assignment and the assignment of the house is in alignment. The moment your assignment and the assignment of the house is out of alignment, you need to leave because you're going to cause division. That's where division and chaos comes from in churches and ministries. When your assignment, when what you're doing, when your purpose and the purpose of the house are at odds, leave. Leave. That is the responsible thing to do. Leave. Because otherwise, not intentionally, but inadvertently, you will begin to sow division in the house. Because you're trying to produce your vision, and they're trying to produce their vision, and it is division, divided vision. Oh, that was good. That was good, God. Oh, divided vision. Woo. Do what you need to do. That's what I'm going to say. Tammy said you will be cast out. Yep, sometimes you will. Yes, yes, yes. And sometimes it's God doing it, and sometimes it's the people doing it. Okay? Now that y'all have gotten a little chastisement, now that I've laid down some foundation, and some folks that didn't really need to get a word are gone. Now, let me say this. If you want a word from God, and y'all listen, y'all have heard what I've been talking about. So just know, y'all have heard what I've been talking about. Okay. So if you put a 1 in the comments, know that I'm not responsible for what you get. Okay. I'm not responsible. All right. Let me say that. I'm not responsible for what you get. So when you put the 1 in the comments, be prepared for God to say whatever He's going to say. Because it ain't Dr. V. Just be prepared for God to say whatever He's going to say. So if you want a prophetic word, put a 1 in the comments, and I'll give you whatever God gives me to give you on this morning. Amen. Oh, Jesus. Oh, He's moving. Miss Carolyn, God done told you to move. You ain't moved. That's it. He done told you to move. You ain't moved. I feel like a lot of y'all gonna get, He done told you to move. Y'all ain't moved. Y'all better hear that word as a corporate group. He done told you to move. You ain't moved. Move. Okay? I'm not going to go into any more detail. I believe I said enough. You know what I'm talking about. Eileen, God done told you to move. You ain't moved. That's multiple areas of your life. Multiple areas, right? There's some things that you got to do. Some things you got to move on. There's some things that you got to move. You got to move. You got to move. You've not been moving enough. You got to move. You got to move. You got to move. Anything stagnant is dead. Anything stagnant is dead. You got to move. You got to move. That movement is so important. So when you start feeling dead inside, that's why you're not moving. You got to move. You got to move. Honey, I'm telling you, when you start moving, watch how everything begins to just drop off of you because you're moving. I'm telling you, God is not difficult. He's not complicated. Man, I'm a simple instruction. Move. You got to move. You got to move your body. You got to move your mind. You got to move. You got to move. Amen. Okay. So this is in a group. If you're if you're watching from a group, put your name because I won't be able to see it. I won't be able to see it. Several of y'all are in the group. So in the groups, be sure to put your name, put your 1 back, put your name, and I'll give you your word. Artesia, God says, I am pleased with you. God says, I am pleased with you. God said, I am pleased with you. And He needs you to know that He is pleased with you. You just keep going, keep pushing, keep pressing, keep doing what He tells you to do, and watch what He does in your life. He's canceling diagnoses. He says He is pleased with you. He's healing you from the inside out, every broken place, every wounded place. He is pleased with you. He says you no longer have to seek the approval of people because you have my approval. He has put His stamp on you. He has put His stamp on you. I felt that. Allison, God said, I've given you very specific instructions on multiple occasions, on numerous times, and you've got them written down and you have still not done it. He said, do it now. This is the month. He said, I've already given you your marching orders, March 4th. And today's March 4th. Doug Addison was talking about that. I can't take credit for it. But he said, He's giving you your marching orders, March 4th. Pick it up and do what He said. Vanessa, this is a new season for you. This last season was a strange season for you. It was a frustrating season for you. But He said, this is a season where things are coming into alignment. He said, don't be surprised when I tell you to shift some things. Okay. There's some things that have been a priority that I'm going to tell you to put on the back burner. Some things that were on the back burner, I'm going to tell you to pull forward. Pull forward what He says, pull forward and do what He says, do, and watch what He does. It's a new season. So everything is going to begin to look new around you. Expect new things. He's bringing new people in your life. I see new job. I'm telling you, God is doing some stuff. It's a new. This is a new for you. This is a new. It is a new season. Walk in the newness. But it's going to require you to shift. You're going to have to change some things. You have to move some things around. David Whitfield, listen, let me tell you something. God is not playing with you. He is not playing with you. He said it is time to come forward fully. It is time to come forward fully. See, the thing about you is you will hesitate to come forward fully because of things that have happened in the past, because of your stutter. But God says that when you move forward this time, listen to me, when you move forward this time, I will permanently remove your stutter. He said, when you move forward this time, I will permanently remove your stutter. It'll be gone, period. And you're not even going to know when it left. So as you are obedient to God, watch how he moves in your life. Marquenta, God says that this is the season to have pit bull tenacity. He said, this is the season to have pit bull tenacity, to lock your jaws on what I have given you, to lock your jaws on what I have told you and not let go. Do not let go. No matter how much opposition you get, no matter how difficult it gets, do not let go. You hold on to keep your jaws locked on what I've told you to do. Do that unapologetically and watch how the people begin to fall away because they were not for you. For your assignment. They were for you for distraction. Watch what God does. Marguerite, God said that this is the season for you to flourish. That's what I hear. I hear flourish. I hear blossom. I hear bloom. It's as though you've been like a tulip. You know, everything that is beautiful there, but it's closed in. God says that this is the season where you are blooming. I am opening you up like a bulb, that your beauty and your majesty and your gifts shall be displayed before the world, and it will be undeniable. He said, because the pain of the past caused you to close up. He said, but my love and my liberty is opening you up so that you can blossom into who I need you to be, so that you can fulfill your assignment because you have a great one. That's prophetess. God says, move and you ain't move. Why? Why? Woman of God, God is taking you to the ends of the earth. He is taking you to the ends of the earth. Your voice must be heard. It must be heard. It must be heard. And no demon in hell, and not even you, can stop it this time. So get ready, because God is preparing you for an astronomical, explosive launch that reaches all the way to the ends of the earth. He says, I'm getting ready to draw people from the north, the south, the east, and the west to you. You're going to be trying to figure out, where did they come from? Listen, who is this from Australia? Who is this from Antarctica? He said, watch. He said, I'm sending people from every continent to connect with you for your purpose. Watch what God does. My God. Woo. Baby, he ain't playing. He ain't playing. He ain't playing. Ooh, he ain't playing. Oh, God is not playing, y'all. He's not playing. There's some things he's releasing. Kimberly, baby, let me tell you, this is the season where you will. This is the season where you're going to find yourself unable to continue in some places. Just unable. It's not going to be anybody did anything to you. It's going to be unable to continue because it's capping you. It's limiting you. It's preventing you from doing what it really is that is your assignment. You gotta move. Sis, we got to move. Tanya, the call on your life is so great. And I don't know if you really know how great it is. But God has called you to a great work in ministry, a great work in the lives of people. He has called you to a great work. You cannot, in this season, allow anything or anyone to put a cap on you. He says that I'm growing you. I'm growing you and I'm grooming you. And it's getting ready to be explosive. And it's going to be so explosive that it's going to cause things to change in your life. Don't have despair about the changes. It's going to cause things to change in your life. Don't be in despair about the changes, because it's going to be huge and it's not going to be able to be contained. Terrence, God says that this is a season of refining. He says, when you get through this season, he said, you're going to be ready for everything that he's promised you. He says, but go through this season. This is like that final stage of purification for approval for what he's promised you. Go through it. Be refined and watch what God does for you. I promise you. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind what he does. Oh, Jesus. Wow, God. Donnell, it's so funny. I was looking at some pictures of us. It was pictures of you and PJ. God said you're not regular and you're not ordinary. Stop trying to be. He says you're not regular and you're not ordinary. Stop trying to be. You need to expect extraordinary in your life. And you need to live an extraordinary life. And the only way you're going to do that is by getting back to that place in him. You're just not regular. You're not regular. You're not regular anything. You're not a regular mother. You're not a regular grandmother. You're not a regular employee. You're not regular. And you have been regular for so long that you've forgotten just how extraordinary you are. God says it's time to add the extra back to the ordinary. And then don't be surprised when it shifts things in your life. It's going to shift things in your life. So get ready for a shift. Things are shifting. But until you shift, you will not see the fulfillment of the things that you desire. Like he says, I want to give you your heart's desire, but I can't because you chose regular. Amen. Praise God. Following Jesus. Man of God, listen. It is your obedience that most pleases God. It is your obedience. And it is your obedience that also causes you to have the most persecution. People persecute you from the north, the south, the east, and the west. They don't even know you and they persecute you. He said, thank you for enduring the persecution. He said, because I promise you the reward will be worth it. You're walking into your season, marching into your season of reward. This is your season of reward. You keep marching forward, keep moving forward, keep doing what God has told you to do, and watch the rewards come. Before the end of this month, your life will look nothing like it looks right now. Before the end of this month, your life will look nothing like it looks right now. Watch what God does. Watch what he does. Yes, Allison. I'm telling you, girl, it's good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. And you deserve every bit of it. It's good stuff, but it requires obedience. It's good stuff, but it requires obedience. Oh, Lord, I don't even know where I'm at, honey. Dr. Shalandia, let me tell you something, baby. Let me tell you something. Listen, and I'm going to try to say this. Listen, woman of God. God is about to blow your mind. And when I tell you he's about to blow your mind, he's about to blow your mind. I'm telling you, he is getting ready to take you to continents. He's getting ready to take you to continents. I need to get you and Prophetess Tammy on the line. We need to have a conversation because I see God using the three of us to do some things. I see some stuff happening. I see some stuff, y'all. And I see some stuff. But listen, God is getting ready to take you to continents. There's a work that you are called to do that you must do. Now, you've been doing it in a limited capacity. Been doing it in a limited capacity, but God said he's getting ready to expand it. It's getting ready to grow exponentially. You're getting ready to see exponential growth. And he says this, he says that don't be surprised by the phone call that you get. You're going to get a phone call. You're going to get a phone call. It's going to deal with television. You're going to get a phone call or an email or a message that deals with television. Deals with television. You're going to be on TV. This is your year to be on TV for real. This is your year to be on TV for real. You're going to have a real television show. Like if you're going to be on TV, get ready to be on television. God is taking you international. He's putting you on international airwaves beyond Facebook, right? Beyond Facebook. It will be content that you own, that you produce, that you direct. It'll be your content. He's already given you the show. He's already given you the idea and the concept. You already have it written down. This year it manifests. This is the year that it manifests. You will be on national television, international television. Your name will be known. They will know Dr. Shalondia Bell because the doctor is in the house. Watch what God does with that. Watch it. Watch it. Watch what God does. I'm telling y'all, God is not playing. God is not playing. God is not playing. I don't know who this is. I don't know who this is saying, thank you. I tuned in by the guidance of the Holy Spirit, confirmation. But listen, let me tell you something. When I tell you that what God is getting ready to do in the next 2 weeks, over the next 2 weeks, God is getting ready to supernaturally move in your life. He's going to breathe on you. You're going to discover opportunities. You're going to see money. Like things are going to open up. It's going to be like, okay. So this is what I've been telling people. March, right? Steady movement. And then God's going to do this. And it's going to explode. That's what's getting ready to happen to you over the next 2 weeks. Over the next 2 weeks, things are going to change suddenly. Watch what God does. Watch what God does. I'm telling y'all, God is moving. 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 And if you're not moving, you're not with God. How about that? God is moving. And if you're not moving, you're not with God. You might be with somebody, but it ain't God. Okay? Y'all better move. You better move like your life depends on it. Whatever God tells you to do, you better do it. And you better do it quickly. But if you're a little obstinate like me and you're a little rebellious and stuff, just do it. Just make sure you do it. And every obedient act that you engage in is unlocking something for you. It's unlocking something for you. It's unlocking something for you. And when I tell you that God is not done with you, even though people may be, I mean that. The favor of God rests upon your life. And it is time for you to not only accept the favor, but walk boldly in the favor and unapologetically. It's not fair, but it's God. You got to understand that in this season, people better be real careful how they handle you. Because your prayers won't save them. Your prayers won't help them. Not in this season. In this season, people can come against you if they want to. They can put their mouth on you if they want to. They will reap the consequences quickly. I'm talking about it's going to be a quick reaping. Quick. So don't be worried about people. Don't worry about people. God gonna handle them. Let them hinder your assignment. Watch what God does. Let them come against you. Watch what God does. And I know y'all may say, Dr. V, that's me. No, I'm telling y'all the truth. I'm telling y'all the truth now. I'm telling y'all what God is saying. He said he's not going to stand for it, not this time. He said he's been patient and he's had grace, but not anymore. He said now people are getting ready to experience it quickly. He's doing it. And he's doing it for his glory. Hear God say, for those of you who like the background, you've been in the background, you just want to stay in the background. God, I don't want no attention. He said, I'm deliberately and intentionally pulling you forward because your spirit is such that you won't be greedy and hungry for the attention because you never asked for it and you didn't want it. This is the time when he's elevating those who are hungry to please him. That's their desire. Those who are after his own heart. That's who he's promoting. And he is also demoting. He's demoting based on actions, choices, words. Last night we saw it with King Saul. We saw him be demoted and replaced. And that's literally what God is doing in this season. And that's why every one of us has to be careful. We have to give an account for ourselves. This is not, listen, y'all, I'm not exempt from this word. I'm not. Last night when I was talking about Saul, I walked away like, ooh. God, like, yeah. That's what I'm saying. So you keep that clear. Keep that in your mind. Because just like Saul, you will be replaced, demoted, and replaced. I said, oh God, I don't want that, God. I don't want that. Then do what I say at all costs. Just do it. So if I move differently, don't be surprised by that. If I say stuff that like shakes people up, don't be surprised by that. Because I'm going to do whatever God tells me to do, regardless of the offense. I don't care nothing about that. This is about God's people and liberating them and setting them free. And it's real. And my prayer for you all is this, that you'll get the courage, the guts, the balls. You'll put on your big boy boxers and your big girl panties and do what God says do. Because I know it's daunting. I know it's scary. I get that. But do it anyway. And when you start to feel that fear creep in, you go to his word and see what does he say about it. Literally, God tells us there is nothing impossible with him. And with him, all things are possible. That he has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. Y'all, we don't have excuses. We don't have excuses. Let's go do what God said do. I declare and decree that everything your hands touch will prosper. And every place your feet tread, God has already given you dominion. That your worst days are behind you and your best days are in front of you. That the promises of God for your life are yea and amen. Yes, and let it be so. And that everything that God has prophesied over your life, everything he has declared over your life will come to pass, because his word will not return to him void, but it shall, it must, it has to accomplish everything that it is sent forth to accomplish. And this time, ain't no stopping you. You can't even stop you. So get ready for God to move you out of the way if you're the problem. Listen, you guys, I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an amazing day. Be blessed and let God be God in your life. Move.